He's practicing today.
Good luck. Good luck. Hell of a job.
Good luck. Hell of an update. Another year.
We're back. Go for Coach Toub.
Okay, go ahead. Shoot, fire away.
Dave, have you settled on your return guy for the Detroit game, both kickoffs and punts? I mean, was Richie your guy?
Yeah, Richie right now is, you'll see him lined up in there and going. So, but we do have other guys that can do it, obviously, but, we like the way Richie came out of preseason and his decision making and he's just an experienced guy back there that's going to help us.
What about Kadarius Toney, at least on punts? Do you plan to get him involved?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long season. We're just starting out right now. Obviously, he's a guy that can do it. He hasn't had a lot of catches. I mean, he just started practicing again, and you guys see how many catches we get out there. I mean, we get a bunch. Every day we're out there catching them, and he missed all those reps. So, it's going to take a while for him to get going. But if we, I mean, you never know what's going to happen in the game when you have a certain amount of bodies, and if we have to use them, we use them, and we go with it. Kind of like we did with Sky last year at the end of the year, and he did a great job for us too. So we still have him too. So we're good to go there.
How different is you for you going into this season with the guys you have returning and just the kind of the institutional knowledge and experience that you have versus last year?
Yeah, it's good. It's a comforting feeling, I mean, to come out of preseason knowing that you got a guy like Richie James that, is solid and has done it, and, and he's your guy, and then you still have other guys that can do it. It's, at the end of the year last year, obviously, it was high stress, so.
But just across the board with all your teams.
Yeah, oh yeah. I got a lot of guys back. We got several guys back with the Leo Chenal and Jack Cochran. All those guys are all second-year guys now, experienced. We still have some more rookies that are going to end up playing in this game. So, I mean, that's life as a special teams coordinator. It's just it's ongoing, and it's game to game, and it's But I am happy with this group that we have.
Coach, Jalen Watson and Josh Williams said to be your gunners, and if so, what do you like about that?
Yeah, I mean, they're both long, fast, experienced. Fast, guys that can, they can get out and run, and that's number one. They're tough. They're good tacklers. I like them on all phases. They're going to help us on everything. As blockers too, at corner and safety, and on kickoff return as well. So we're going to count on those guys heavily this year.
Justin Ross, is he going to be factored into your four phases?
Yeah, he should. I mean, if he's up, I mean, we got to decide who's going to be up and who's going to be down. That's always a factor, and anybody that's up will be somebody that helps us. They won't be up for no reason.
Dave, with Drew Tranquil, we know he has a multitude of roles on defense, but is he considered a four-phase guy?
He could be. He could be. I mean, he's a guy. Obviously, we could put him on anything. He's very experienced, tough, fast, intelligent, football smart guy. He could play anywhere. I'm going to certainly use him on certain phases, not all, but he could play on everything if we needed it. He could play on everything.
You wanted to return every kick in the preseason. How was that philosophy?
Well, in the preseason, it's different, obviously. During the season, it's a lot different. It depends on who you're playing, what their coverage team is like, how many guys they have coming back, what kind of hang time you're getting on the kickoff. All those things are factors. The fact that the fair catch, you're getting the ball automatically at the 25, that's a big factor. The more you think about it, I mean, those are free yardage. That's free yardage right there. So there'll be times when we fair catch. We're not going to return everything, like I said, the first time, obviously, because, you have to go back and look at it and look at the analytics of it. And the free yards that you get from that, is just too big. It's too big.
Will it be for the returners, like when you go back and look and you know what the hang time is on that kick and all that, in real time when they're out there, I mean, You got
Yeah, it's
guys
hard.
that
It's
don't
hard,
return
but
properly.
that's why you have to, you have to trust them to make this. They have the keys to the car. It's like, a quarterback. They have to make good decisions. You can't, I could sit there on the sideline and say, I'll return this one, and, and it's close, and he doesn't, but you just have to go with it. Guys, you have to trust your players that are on the field and to make a big play, and, and whatever it is, we're going to block it up, and that's what I told our guys, block it up and make him right. No matter what he does, we're blocking like he's coming out every time.
Do you anticipate more squibs and things like that across
If
the
a
league? You guys
team-
are the first ones up. So.
Sure. I mean, if a team wants to force you to return it, they kick a squib kick and you got to return it, unless it, goes for a touchback or it goes out of bounds. You got to do something with that. It's a live football and you can't fair catch it, so you got to return it. So, we've practiced that a bunch, and if a team wants to force you to do, wants you to return it, they're going to have to do that.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, thanks.
Take care.
We are almost in the afternoon. I'm gonna go with it. Huh? I'm off by 6 minutes. Well, listen, great to be standing here, regular season game, getting ready for an opponent with knowing we're gonna play our guys, right? Because I've been up here a little bit, who's gonna play, who's not gonna play. Best guy's gonna go out there and play. It's a great opponent we're playing. The more film you watch of Detroit and what they did and who they have, I had respect for them before, but wow, talk about an elite group. And, we hear all the things being said about them, and they've got new weapons and good coaching and all that. So great challenge for us. So with that, I'll open it up.
Coach, what stands out to you when you watch the game of the Detroit Lions? You talk about the improvement they made last season. What stands out?
Yeah, I think the system that they've put together, we call it eye candy, and the movement and all the things that go on before the ball's even snapped. I think they do an outstanding job of. The quarterback obviously is gathering all kinds of information, and he's really good at taking that information and putting them in a really good play. That's that on top of the skill that they have. We all know about the running back they add and the receivers they have out there, et cetera, et cetera. So that all packaged together, I think, is a really tough challenge for us.
You're studying receivers across the league. Where does St. Brown stand? Is he almost underrated for?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether he's underrated or not because I don't know where everybody's got him. I put him way up there right now because he's a real challenge when you watch him on tape. And you could see that last year there was a consistent effort to get him the football. And you're only doing that if you got tremendous belief in a person. And they've got some returners there. 11, player from Holy Cross. I grew up 15 minutes from Holy Cross. He was with us with the Giants. He's great. He's a great kid, high character guy, and I'm happy for him. He's had a really good career, and they got guys all over the place, right? They got a tight end in there. There's a rookie that's really good, and a lot of these guys haven't played a lot in the preseason, so we don't have a lot of tape of them all together. But we just got to do what we do. We got to get good at what we do. That's what we got to do.
How do you prepare for a guy like Gibbs, a rookie there, but everybody's really excited about him. Andy even talked about how excited he's shooting around and everything.
Andy would have liked to have had that toy, right?
Yeah, for sure. How do you prepare for a guy like that? You don't have much tape on him.
Yeah, we and he didn't play a lot in the preseason. There were a couple of snaps there, but we have looked at Alabama film. They found ways to get him the ball out on the perimeter. We would expect that this team would do the same thing. He's really good with the ball in his hands. We got to try to. It's all eyeballs on number 26 when he goes in the game. That's one of the things we've been talking about. Know where he is and if he's in the game, because we certainly think with a guy that's explosive, they're going to try to find ways to get him the ball.
Steve, Neil Farrell, what kind of player are you getting in him?
Yeah, it's a little bit of an unknown. Big, big, strong football player. We'll see. We really haven't had him for that long. Joe's had him in the meeting room. He seems like he picks up things pretty well, but it's an unknown right now. And we'll see where we can get him to, by the time Thursday rolls around, and we'll have a better idea then.
Expectation for LJ to be on some sort of pitch count, or do you feel like he can do the full bed?
It's a good question. I'm going to leave that up to LJ because, listen, we want him healthy, and he practiced really well yesterday. I think you guys probably saw a little bit of it, and he's doing real well, so fingers crossed. But when he's out there, he makes a difference.
What's your defensive line
rotation gonna look like? I know you got some new guys in there mixed in.
Yeah, rotation's the great word, because we'll use them all. We're gonna get guys in there and mix and match. And listen, this group that we have, I'm not just talking about the D-line, but it's a great group to work with. I mean, they work. These guys work, and they're into it. And you know, we got a bunch of guys that are cerebral, Nick and Drew and the whole crew, guys on the back end. Hopefully, we can play really good as a unit. And our best players will play really good, and all our other guys will play really solid. I think this team can force you into making mistakes if you're undisciplined, especially with your eyes. And if we don't do that, it gives us a fighting chance. Because with the things they do on offense, if you get, you know, if you go wandering or you're biting on something that's not there, they'll make you pay for it. They
Steve,
look at it that way.
Steve, we all know how much you love blitzing, but how much do you sort of appreciate the ability to do it when you don't have anything on tape with this collection of guys in an opening game?
Yeah, interesting question. I'm as curious as you guys to see what we have and what we can do with the players we have. We've talked about this before in this room, that sometimes it takes a quarter of the season to figure out how it's going to piece together what you have. We think we have things in to take advantage of, you know, what our guys do, but we'll see. You know, we didn't get a lot of snaps in the preseason, and we certainly obviously didn't do a lot of things preseason-wise. So we're going off of practice, and hopefully we've prepared well and we can get some of those things run.
I think last time we talked to you in here, the roster was still big, you hadn't made your cut downs yet. Chris wasn't here, we asked if he wasn't here, if you had enough. He's not here now, it doesn't look like he'll be here by Thursday to play. Do you have enough on your line to do what you guys need to do without him?
Well, listen, I'm going to go back to, this is what we really firmly believe. If we play as a unit, I mean 60, 65, 70 plays as a unit, not guys trying to do their own thing. If guys do what they're capable of doing, we can play good defense. We all believe that. And then hopefully there's a couple of exceptional plays in there for us, not the other way around. And then then I think we'll play well, good enough defense to win. But we'll find out. I got a lot of love working with them. And these guys got a lot of confidence. We want to just go out. The game can't get here soon enough. I mean, you guys could almost feel how long it's taken, right, since the last preseason game. So we feel like you guys do.
Coach, at the cornerback position, now that you have LJ back, it's Trent and LJ, you guys are looking for that third cornerback. Will Joshua Williams get the first shot?
Josh and Jalen will both be in and out of there, yeah.
Just in a rotation.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we're going to play. We'll play as many guys as we can. I kind of believe in early in the year getting as many guys out there. But we did that, if you guys remember, we did a little bit with Darius Harris last year, because Willie was with us early, and then he had the games where he was down. But I think it's important to do, because somewhere along the way here during the season, we're going to get dinged. Guys are going to get hurt. And it'd be nice to know that guys that are going in have a little bit of solid background of playing some snaps.
Couple more.
Oh, I warm out.
Going 1, 2, we're done.
Okay, have a great day.
Thank you.
Yep.
Travis, you know, over a decade, and now you're starting another year. How's your body holding up? How you feel you're going to be able to just
We're rolling,
go through
baby.
a season?
It's week one. Body's feeling as good as it'll feel all year.
How being able to just keep your, you know, maintain your body and everything going into this with the longevity, knowing that you're facing?
I think one thing, you know, we practice hard, but I think Coach Reed does a great job of, you know, taking care of us throughout the year. I've been very fortunate that we have the best training staff in the league. So getting in that training room, doing a lot of rehab, and just making sure the body's tuned up. I've been very fortunate for that. My guy Alex Scasel, it's my personal trainer. You know, there's a lot that goes into it. You just got to be a professional, and you just got to be very fortunate. Actually, you know, there's a lot of fortune that goes into this game, and staying healthy and being out there every week.
Sorry, Travis.
You good?
How big will Thursday night be, even before kickoff? The idea of having the banner being unveiled, the full stadium, unlike in 2020, and what do you think that will do as an energy drive for you and the rest of the guys?
Man, as sick as it sounds, I'm over last year, man. I'm ready to keep things moving forward. You know, I think it'll be cool for the fans, for the for the Hunt family to be able to put another banner up, and that'll be a moment for them. But for me right now, I'm focused on beating the Detroit Lions. I'm not really focused on any of the other stuff that goes on for the first game of the year.
Is that something that you learned from last time?
I think there was like 20% of the stadium filled last time, so I don't even know if we did that last time.
The mentality movement on from last year.
I think it's every year I just kind of put the past in the past and just keep it moving. I got more goals, more objectives, new team, and the sense of urgency to keep winning, baby.
Trev, what do you remember about your mentality when you guys were facing the Patriots and you were going into New England and just the motivation that maybe was behind making a statement there?
I just remember the game, granted, I think they had like 6 Super Bowl, actual Super Bowl, I don't know, on a tube. It was crazy. I remember thinking in my head, I was like, this is a lot for the fucking first game of the next season. Oh, excuse my language. Oh. I'm thinking I'm on my podcast right now. Yeah, so I was like, man, this is a lot just to, remember last year knowing that it's a whole new season. So I don't know, that's really all I remember from it.
Travis, when it comes to Patrick, obviously he has so many attributes, but I wonder when you think about all he does, how much is just his drive that sets him apart?
It's the ultimate leader. I mean, every single day, and the more you're around him, you realize it's not just in football; it's in life. Every single, everything he does, he wants to be the best. And even if it's, we did some State Farm stuff. He's trying to, just be prompt on time. Good comedic timing, good, just being the best version of him in everything he does, and that's just who he is. And when you get him in a comfort zone like what he is in this building, it just oozes out of him. And what it is in terms of leadership is, those are the things you really can't pay for. You got to get a guy that has it in his heart to be able to do it every single day.
And when you think of that, do you feel like part of that is he has a conscious notion to be the best there ever was? Is there anything like that in your mind about him?
I'm sure everybody sets those kind of goals for themselves. I came into the league thinking that I wanted to be the best to ever touch the turf. I'm sure he has that kind of motivation, but it's not a selfish drive to be that. It's a very unselfish, get everybody involved, bring everybody along with him, and let's have some fun while we do it.
Travis, do you like being the hunted, or being the hunted instead of the huntee?
I want everybody's best shot. That's just who I've always been. I want to beat you at your best. I don't want any excuses, and I want that challenge. That fuels me.
Travis, on your podcast, you talked about Chris Jones and his situation.
Yeah.
A couple times you said, I don't get it. Can you elaborate on what about this doesn't make sense to you?
I was more so just trying to have some fun with talking about the situation, try and bring light to it, just trying to be funny. But at the end of the day, Chris has his situation, he has his reasons. It ain't none of my business. I'm trying to win football games, and hopefully we can get him back as soon as possible because I know how great of a player he really is.
Travis, you obviously, I asked Patrick this yesterday, but you and Patrick both theoretically took less money to try and keep this all together. Did you ever have the expectation that other players would do the same thing?
I honestly, I don't know. I think you're alluding to Chris's situation. I don't know what his situation is. I stay out of everybody else's situation in terms of that, just so I don't wrap my head around, what I'm doing, but or what they're doing based off of, my intentions. I just keep it moving, man. Hopefully, like I said, we can get him back and we can just be the best football team we possibly can. But I never base someone else's situations or their decision making off of, things that I may have done. I just don't think it's fair.
Communication with Chris? Just in the off season, how you doing, stuff like that?
Oh yeah, I don't know if you saw that DirecTV commercial, man. We had some fun doing that.
Have you had communication with him in a while?
I haven't talked to him in a while. No, it's probably the last time I talked to him was DirecTV.
Yeah. So leadership-wise, you guys obviously have a lot of great leaders. Chris is one of those guys who's been here for a long time.
100%.
Who needs to kind of help the defense on that side of it?
I think we got plenty of leaders across the board right now. Defensively, obviously, Bolton, Jay Reed, even Willie. You name it. There's guys that are coming to work every single day, busting their tail, and doing things with the right demeanor, rallying the group, and making sure everybody's on the same page. That's what you get when you come into this building, man. You get guys that rise to the occasion and want to be that for their teammates.
And you guys haven't gone through this with a holdout. We've seen it around the league where it can mess up a locker room is here, the guys who are here, when someone's not here, because then, you know, they're like, where is the guy? How important is it for you guys to keep yourselves right and just understand that this is Chris's issue with the team and not you guys?
It's exactly that, you know. We can only control who's in this building, and we're just going to keep moving forward on that.
Last couple, Harold and then Nate.
I just wanted to ask a quick follow-up. What was it like filming that commercial with Chris?
No, man, it was too funny, man. He's obviously he's a star on and off the field, man. Big energy, funny guy. So we had a lot of fun doing it, and it was pretty easy for him.
Nate?
Been through this multiple times where you have to install after install and play after play. When you see the game plan for the opening week, given that you've been through it before, just what jumps out to you without necessarily giving away scheme advantages, but what jumps out to you?
Just the excitement of we're going into a new season, got essentially a new playbook because we have new pieces, and you know, you got to keep just recreating, you know, the offense depending on who's in that building and really what you've done last year. So it's the excitement of being able to just get out there and, you know, put more on tape. And I tell everybody all the time, man, that Wednesday meeting every single week is my favorite time of the week, because it's like now I get to visualize how we're going to attack. And Coach Reed and this offensive staff never disappoint in terms of how we can do that and show off the strengths of our offense.
Okay, thanks, Travis.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Awesome. All right, fire away.
Travis was just talking about the excitement he gets on the Wednesday before a game, seeing the game plan and all that. How fired up are you guys for what you cooked up for week one? Week one can always be a little bit different than the others.
Yeah, it's exciting. You go through the tempo and the monotony of the training camp. And it's a long training camp, but at the same time, we know it's needed. And so then, you know, so many of us as players and coaches are creatures of habit, and it's nice to get to a schedule that you know how the day is going. And yesterday, being our in-season Wednesday practice for us, even though it was a different day, our first day of the week of true practice, you could feel the juice and the energy and the vibe of the guys out there, and he's certainly one of them. The guys look to him to lead, and he's been that way ever since I've been here, and I think these guys really lock in on right now and today, and they're not so much worried at all about what happened in training camp or really what's happening in the future. It's about right now.
Coach Reed on Friday said this is my Monday. You know, you mentioned this is a Thursday.
Yeah.
And it seems like the guys are saying that. How much has that routine maybe led to a lot of the success, and maybe even how much did you bring to Chicago during your tenure there, just routine-wise?
The routine is big. The players to know day to day, like what it looks like, and I think Coach does a great job of preparing for that by simulating it during training camp. You know, and this new week that you get off before you get to the regular season is nice, and coaches use it different ways. The way we use it is to kind of simulate a game week of how it will go, just game planning purpose-wise. Schedules, we don't change a whole lot, we stick to it, and I think that consistency for the players and coaches is nice. And now that we're truly in a Thursday practice today, even though it's, I think, Monday, right? Knowing that we play Thursday, it's just our mindset right now, and we all stay on the same page.
Coach, we saw the consistency that Richie James had pretty much from the start of training camp through the preseason. Just what fascinates you most about seeing him in a game setting in the offense for the first time?
Yeah, for me, meeting Richie when he first got here and seeing him in OTAs, what he transferred to training camp, and where he's at now is just a great knowledge of the offense, being in the right spot at the right time, and so. As a quarterback or as a coach, when you have somebody like that, you trust them. And I think that's what – and then on top of that, he's very talented. You saw that in the preseason game with being able to go downfield, make great catches, et cetera. So he's got some veteran experience that he brings to that room as well.
Matt, you guys have 7 wide receivers. Do you see a path realistically for all of those guys to get work?
Yeah, we do, and it's not new to us. We've been working with them really since OTAs, you know, and you just want to see now when you have these guys, what are their strengths? You don't know until you draft Rasheed what his strength. You think you know in college, but how do you transfer it to what we do offensively, and then how do we do what he does well, and place that too. So now that we've got a better picture of what everybody does, whatever coach and Veach decide to do every week with the active wide receivers, we got to make sure we have a plan, like we said, we talked about before, contingency plan of how to use them. And we think we know, they think they know, but we won't know until we start playing these games, for especially some of these young guys.
With Rice, he dropped a number of passes during the preseason. What's going on there? What are?
I don't know. It's not a concern because we see what he does in practice with the great catches that he makes in practice. And I think sometimes when you get to those moments, and yeah, they're big moments, you got to use it the right way. And so the support he had on the sideline from other teammates and players and from coaches just shows the trust we have. And he's going to make great plays this year. And it's, you know, if you start getting down on somebody or start worrying about the drops or this or that, it can become a bigger problem, and we're not concerned the least bit. We have a lot of trust in them.
Matt, the Chiefs' record in opening games and Patrick's stats in opening games are uncommonly good. There's some common denominators there.
Yeah, that was brought to my attention just as we were, you know, talking about week one opponents, week one for us, and just our players in general, and that. You know, he plays pretty well week one, and he plays pretty well like every week. So, but week one in general, when you look at some of the numbers he's had and winning games and scoring points, you want him on your side. And again, with Pat is you look at somebody that in training camp OTAs, he's always locked in, but then you always feel, and I felt it last year, and I felt it again yesterday, is there's just that little tick more of knowing that you're now in quote unquote game week. And it becomes, like using quotes, a little more real for all of us now. It's here, you know, it's here. So now you feel it in the week of practice, and I was fortunate enough to feel last year on game day how that is too before the game for him. You know, players like that go to different places, and it's fun to have on your side.
How do you see that with him?
How do I see it?
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to see because. The personality he has, you know, is somebody where he has a lot of different ways that he handles meetings, ways that he's at practice. But then, you know, when it's game day or when it's game week, you just feel it. It doesn't take much to know. But the guys like that are with him every day that see it, how he is, you know, in meetings at night at training camp at 8 o'clock at night versus game day at, you know, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, you feel it, and it's different. And there's a lot of people like that, but his is just different.
Matt, are you guys expecting to maybe be careful with Kadarius and not maybe play him for the full game and just kind of ease him in?
Well, for us, you know, I think he's looked really good coming back here. He looks like he's in shape, and he's stayed locked in with the playbook. So now we just kind of let the flow of the game dictate, you know, how we use him and what we do with them. So again, when you have 7 guys, it enables you to do different things, and he's going to be certainly a part of that.
2 more, Bahi and Harold.
Go ahead.
Matt, when you're just speaking to Patrick's extra, but when you try to explain to somebody what sets Patrick apart in general, what couple 3 things does it simmer down to?
Well, number one is competitiveness. There's no one around that's as competitive as him. Nobody. It's just as simple as that. And I've been around a lot of people. No one's as competitive as him. So he's 1, and there's no 1A. Number 2 is just his focus. And then number 3 is he doesn't miss anything. He sees everything. So whatever that is, if it's in a conversation, if it's watching video or tape, you know, whatever. I always joke about it. Like, we could be in the middle of a game on the sideline. I witnessed it last year, and you know, we're going through the tablet and talking through plays and what the defense just did, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he like looks up and sees that the score of another game or something. It's like, how do you do that? And, you know, it's rare, it's different. But then he goes right back to what the blitz that they're doing, and you're just like, this is cool, you know.
Does
So.
it continue to amaze you? I mean, amaze you maybe it's too strong, but I mean, do you continue to find it fascinating that there's still more capacity in there?
Yeah, that's probably a big part of it as well. He keeps growing, and he wants that. And so he wants us to coach him hard. He wants us to be tough on him. He doesn't want us to coach him like the player he is. He wants to be better. And I think we're not doing him justice if we say every play, hey, great play, even though he might have made a poor decision. No, you got to tell him, and he wants that. If his feet aren't great, he wants to know that. And I think that's important. If there's something in a meeting, we got to get on because you got to say it and say it in front of the guys, and he can handle that. And I think that's what makes him special.
I just want to ask you to put on your father hat for a second. Tate was playing the other day, Friday, and Andy was with you there. Just what's it like watching him play? He played pretty good too. I think 22 and 27 or something like that. So I mean, just what's it like seeing him progress too? Since you're
Sure.
coach quarterback?
Yeah, it was a great moment. You know, Coach came up to me that day and mentioned that he might go to the game, and so I didn't tell Tate. I wanted Tate's been waiting for that moment the other night for many years, and so it's a night we'll never forget. It was fun for Tate. Coach had a great time. You know, he's up there with his son Spencer and his grandson, and so it was a good moment. And there was other coaches there too. So I told Tate he's lucky, and he said, "Dad, I know," and it's certainly a fun night.
How do you see
He's
he's
a better
doing?
player than you were.
What's it? He's way better than me. Way better, for real.
Yeah, and I say, how do you think he's progressing so far?
Good. He's doing well. Yeah, he's having fun out there. And I said, just cut it loose, have fun, and have success, and win. So we got to get a win this week.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Thanks,
See ya.
Coach.